Welcome to Native Bidaské, Native News Online's weekly spotlight on the people making news and leading change in Indian country.
Welcome to another edition of Native Bidaské. I'm Levi Rickert, your host, and we have a very special guest this week. Now, this week is Climate Week across the United States, and recognizing the gains and progress being made when it comes to the climate. And most of us who think about it intelligently realize that climate change is real. And so the Biden-Harris administration has worked very hard to really rectify and put a halt to some of the dangers associated with climate change. And with us today is the Interior Secretary, Deb Haaland. She's a tribal citizen of the Laguna Pueblo and has wrapping up her first term, at least. We don't know what's going to happen in the next during the election, and if she'll be asked to come back, we don't know. But with us today is Deb Haaland, and she's going to talk about the climate. So welcome, Secretary Haaland. Chief Miigwech to Secretary Haaland. She was unable to do a video, so we actually used her audio for this Native Bidaské. And climate change is real, and so I was happy that she was able to share the accomplishments of the Biden-Harris administration. Hey, talk about some of the accomplishments of the Biden-Harris administration relating to the climate.
I don't know if you'll have enough time for me to go through that list, Levi, but I'll start.
I have as much time as you have, so go ahead.
Okay, so of course, when we first got here, President Biden instructed us to stand up a clean energy transition for our country, and we're so proud that offshore, we've approved the nation's first 10 commercial-scale offshore wind projects. Those have moved through. President Biden has a goal of 30 gigawatts of offshore wind energy by 2030, and 4 years in, we are more than halfway there. So very proud of that. Onshore, 41 renewable energy projects since 2021. I've gone to groundbreakings. I've gone to ribbon cuttings for transmission lines, and we're able to power millions of homes now with both onshore and offshore clean energy. So that's really wonderful. I also want to mention the America the Beautiful initiative. That was one of President Biden's promises to restore at least 30% of our lands and waters by 2030. That is a community-led, voluntary initiative where folks can be a part of conserving these lands and waters for future generations. So those are just a few of the things we've been able to accomplish. As you know, the Bipartisan Infrastructure Law and the Inflation Reduction Act have also helped tribes with amazing investments. One of those that I'm super proud of that I was able to visit recently was the Hopi tribe in Arizona. We gave them, we were able to fund $4 million for their tribal electrification program. Likewise, we went to Gun Lake where I saw you.
Yes.
And Gun Lake, they've been able to power one of their administrative campuses with solar power, and they were also moving to electrify a housing, one of their housing communities with solar power. So we are making these changes all over the place. I could go into landscape restoration also because, quite frankly, restoring our lands and waters, that it gives wildlife a place to thrive, and all of that matters with respect to climate change. We have to, we're working really hard to make sure that we can bring back a balance in so many areas.
And that was just announced this week, another $24 million towards that restoration of lands and waters, right?
So all total, with the restoring our nation's lands and waters, we're investing overall $2 billion.
Wow.
So that's from Hawaii with the Hawaiian forest birds to Alaska for the salmon, all the way over to the East Coast for our salt marshes.
Mm-hmm.
In between, you have the bison and the prairie grasslands, and we're just, I love that. Overall, I love the landscape restoration projects the most, because I really feel like they are, they put those communities basically in charge. We're using a lot of indigenous knowledge for these programs, and it's been really great.
Yeah, I'm really proud of what you have been able to achieve there. Hey, I want to speak just a little bit about the how you guys communicate and how you can come up with these projects. How the interface you have with the other departments and agencies in the federal government, Department of Energy, et cetera. How does that work? And you pick up the phone, or you have monthly meetings? How does that work?
Sure. So as you know, the president started the White House Council on Native American Affairs again.
Yes.
So that's with respect to our tribal projects and so
Mm-hmm.
forth. So we connect on those issues. I'll just give you an example. We have our tribal electrification program, and EPA has a program where they can also fund tribal electrification. So I went to Hopi and we announced $4 million. That was very exciting. Administrator Michael Regan went to Hopi with me again, and he announced, like $20-some million.
Wow.
Electrification. They are working on electrifying 900 homes in Hopi. So the programs are different. The funding's a little different with respect to whatever agency you're doing. But,
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I can absolutely get on the phone and talk to Michael Regan, let him know what we're doing, and see how we can connect.
I think that's amazing, because most people know that collaboration and working together is just the name of the game these days. Otherwise, it's kind of hard to work in your own little silo. But so I'm really proud of what you've been able to do, and the reception among the different departments and agencies towards Indian country has been great, from what I can see.
I'm sorry, Levi, would you repeat that, please?
No, I think that from my observation, the relationship, the collaboration between the departments you've been able to achieve has been pretty significant, and the reception has been pretty great towards Indian country. Is that correct?
Yes. As far as I can see, everyone seems to be happy. Recently we went to Phoenix and had it was access to capital roundtable. So we're trying to get philanthropy also involved in Indian country, in investing in Indian country. And Governor Stephen Lewis was there from Gila River, and he has done so much with the funding through the laws that the president has passed. The solar panels over the irrigation system, right? Things like that. He has made the most out of the funding that he's been able to acquire, and it's wonderful to see. So they come to us with ideas. If we can fund those, it's awesome.
Yes, yeah. And I love what I'm seeing as it relates to Indian country, and I go to a lot of conferences and a lot of discussions about renewable energy, and sometimes it takes a little while, because as you well know, there's a lot of turnover in tribal councils sometimes, but those stable tribes that really get it, I'm really happy to see the progress that's being made. Hey, Madam Secretary, what has been one of the biggest challenges as it relates to the climate that you've experienced at the Interior Department?
Sure. Well, When I first got here, it's like 4 whole years in this term, and then all of a sudden, right, we're in the last 116 days, and so I know the wheels of government turn somewhat slowly at times, and we've all been working our hearts out. But still, things take a little bit longer than sometimes you expect. So, I suppose that's a good thing because you make sure you do things right. We want the decisions that we're making to last through many administrations, regardless of who is in office. So we are always, have an eye toward our future generations. But I guess, time's always an issue, Levi.
Yes. And these 4 years have gone by quickly, haven't they? It's just like shake your head and go, wow, how did that happen so fast?
Yes. Time goes by when you're busy. Time goes by fast when you're busy, I think.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this, and I know you cannot get overly political as the Secretary of the Interior, but has the groundwork or the framework been laid for future administrations? And I love what you said because we Native people think in terms of 7 generations, but if you leave, and I don't know if you're leaving in January, but because we don't know quite yet, but has the groundwork been laid for the Interior Department to continue on some of the great work you've done?
There are over 65,000 career staff here at the Department of the Interior. They all wake up every day with dedication to serving the American people and lifting up all of our mission, whether it's science at USGS, whether it's the Bureau of Reclamation, ensuring that our water systems are operating and conserving water the way they should, whether it's Fish and Wildlife Service, who, quite frankly, we're so proud. We delisted 2 species so far in these 4 years. That definitely is going to move through whatever administration is next. So yes, we do feel like the decisions that we make today, we want them to last. And so that's why we're doing them right. And God willing, the clean energy economy that President Biden started will continue on long after any of us are gone.
Mm-hmm. Now, is there any last words you want to leave with us?
Levi, thank you so much. It's been an honor and a privilege to serve the American people at the Department of the Interior. And I am so proud of the work that the Biden-Harris administration has allowed us to do for the American people. And I just think that me and my team have really made some amazing strides, and I'm proud of the work that we've done.
Well, thank you very much, Chi Miigwech. And to our viewers out there, the election season is underway. Some states, voting has already taken place. And to you who don't know if you registered to vote, go to vote.org and you can go to the state, hit the link, and you can actually get in and find out if you're registered to vote, where you're registered to vote. And if you're not registered to vote, do so today so that you can vote in this coming election. It's very, very critical. So we at Native News Online have done a lot of election coverage this year, and we really encourage all Native Americans to vote. So Chi Miigwech will tune in next week for another edition of Native Bidaské. Chi Miigwech.
If you appreciate what we do here at Native News Online, we invite you to donate to support our continued work covering Indian country. You can scan this code with your smartphone or go to the link located below this video to donate today. We greatly appreciate your support. Please be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And be sure to scan this code or go to the link below to subscribe to our newsletter. Thank you for joining us today, and please be sure to join us again next week for another episode of Native Bidaské. Chi Miigwech.